Hey fellas, how you doing? It's Johnny Berba. Gonna let rip today. I want to share a message again. And for me, this is really about having the courage to change your old story and to form a new story. This is bar none the most difficult thing I've ever had to do in my life. Now, the reason I'm talking about myself in this video, a lot of people have sometimes criticise me when I say that. They're saying I'm speaking about myself too much. Well, if I don't speak about myself, how on earth can I pass on this information and explain to people that I'm speaking from my actual experience? I'm not just telling people to change their life and to change their story, and I haven't done it myself, and I'm still in the process of changing this new story. This is a new story now. Me doing this video in the park with Naz, talking to you guys, this is a completely new story. This is not how, sorry, I'm itching here. This is not how I used to be. This is not how I used to live. Working with so many men that I work with in my 6-week transformation program. And that's the reason people come to me, because they want to change their story. So when we say we want to change our story, we want to change ourselves. It's the most exciting thing a man can do in his life. I was just talking to Naz earlier before we set the camera up, and we were talking about pain. Naz was saying, working on your own pain to fix yourself, and the only relief is actually, sorry, it's not self-conscious, I'm itching this park. The only relief is going into pain. That's the only relief. And I was just saying to Naz earlier, it's mad because we know everything. We know absolutely everything. There's nothing I couldn't tell you now on this video that you don't already know. But it's so beneficial for me to say this, and for me I need to tell myself this, to remind myself of how powerful we are, how gifted we are. Because obviously when you're in an old story, and I'm going to talk in a second about my old story, and I'm going to relate that to some of the guys I've been working with, and it's very likely that you're watching this video now because you're in an old story, you don't want to be there. So many people today in our society are living in stories that they don't want to be in. I did this for pretty much all my life. Fear of abandonment, fear that people wouldn't love me. Sounds soppy, I know, I always say that. Sounds soppy when I speak it out loud, but absolute terrified that I wasn't good enough and people wouldn't like me as I was. And of course, it's mad because it's not true, but it is true. So people don't go around personally trying to make your life difficult or not liking you. I don't think anyone's going around doing that. But when you actually believe that and you behave according to those beliefs, you see that getting reflected back. That's why so many men that I speak to, that I work with, will say to me, they'll always blame their friends. I'll say, what is your problem? And they'll tell me their friends' problems. But your friends' problems, to some extent, are your problems, because you're attracting that story. So I'm just going to be really straight with you guys, as I always am, because I just do these videos and I don't plan them. I remember sitting down one day, many times in my old story. I'll go back around about 10 years ago. I'm 32 now, when I was 22. I remember it would happen to me sometimes because I had real problems trusting people because of my my upbringing. And just sitting there and kind of glimpsing out and getting a wake-up call and going, it doesn't feel right being here. It doesn't feel right with these people. And I don't want to feel like that because I'm not judging anyone, because I don't even feel right in myself. But something doesn't feel right. I didn't know what it was. It didn't feel honest. It didn't feel good. I felt like I was playing games, and I felt unsafe. I felt I can't trust them. I can't trust me. And I don't like the story. Do you know what the story was? I'm in a room watching people cheat one another in front of my very eyes. They're actually cheating each other. They're all doing it. And they built friendships on cheating each other. And I'm part of this, and I don't want to be a part of this, but you know what? Because I get so scared, and I believe the feelings, because I've got a bit of anxiety in my body. And because my dad wasn't that kind to me back then, he was quite harsh on me. And the effects of that abuse coincided with the effects that the bullies did to me in school. And what would happen, I'd walk through my area and feel scared all the time. So that always kept me in this story, kept me being dishonest. No self-trust, no trust with others, no fellowship, no proper self-esteem. And of course, it's a horrible place to be at. Watching people cheat one another, talking about each other behind their back in the next room, having a conversation, two people, getting on, being straight with each other. One goes into the next room to the next person and says, sorry my language, he's a wanker, isn't he? Yeah, he's a wanker. Back in the room, hey, how you doing? That's no way to live. That certainly wasn't who I was at the core of my being. That certainly wasn't who I was. That wasn't how my family raised me. My family are actually a really honest family, very beautiful family, very nice people. But because I've undergone a bit of abuse from my dad, I've taken it really personal. I didn't know how to deal with it. I've gone out, I've socialised with people. I thought everyone else is going to try and repeat that pattern on me. So I formed friendships with people that were the same as me. And I didn't know how to get out. And every time I tried to get out, I'd have a voice coming up saying to me, you can't do that because you're going to think you're better than them. And you're being judgmental. So I was like, I don't want to judge them, but I'm really judging myself here harshly, and I can't really be a full friend to them because I don't trust them, and I don't think they like me. I don't think they like me. I don't think they care about me. I remember thinking, this can't be right. There must be a higher power. What's the point of existing if you're afraid of death and abandonment all the time? You pretty much are dead. You are abandoned. Because if we're constantly afraid of something happening, we can't live our lives. We can't live our lives. We can't enjoy it. And this is what happens when you're in the old story. And I say the old story, it's just the wrong story. So many men that I work with on my 6 weeks program will say, I'm really growing, this is going great, but. There's always a but. And I've got this in my life as well. I'm still working on this but. I say, what is it? But my friend is, tell me, what is it? Be straight, get it out. My friend, he's not on the same, he doesn't think like I do. He's not like you and me, Johnny. He's not thinking the same way. Tell me. He wants to take drugs and drink and badmouth people and be dishonest. I don't really trust my friend. Which is a representation that part of you doesn't trust you. So I say, look, I'm not telling you to reject your friend. I understand how difficult this is because you moving on, lots of fear there because you're thinking, if I move away and I lose my friends, I'll be by myself. But we know that's not true. We know that's not true. That's one of the reasons why I stayed in an old story for many years. I knew I could get out. My dad brought me up to be a strong, masculine man with integrity that could connect with people. He'd done some bad things, but he'd done many good things. I've said it before. Someone is a bit abusive in one stage of life. If you take that abuse on and you form a story from it and you say, I'm an effect of this abuse, this is who I am, that will get played out for the rest of your life. If you go, all right, it's not nice what happened, but I'm going to use the abuse. What Naz said earlier, I'm going to go inside into the pain. I'm going to feel all the pain, every single bit of it. I'm not going to blame other people because other people can't fix your pain. Even a guru can't do that. But it's mad, but a guru can do that, but a guru can't do that. Because I can't fix your pain, but I can fix your pain. I can talk to you, I can tell you about how I fix my pain, how I continue to fix it. It will inspire you to go inside to fix your pain. But it's hard to be inspired to fix your pain when you're around people that they don't want to fix their pain. And you are connecting with each other on your pain. And that's not a bad thing. Because I connected with the whole world on my pain. But I've had to, over time, go through a process of fixing my pain. As I fix my pain, this sounds, I don't even know how I'm saying this. As I fix my pain, you guys are fixing your pain. Or at least there's a big proportion of you guys that are in the process of fixing your pain. You can't ask for much more than a man who is working on himself. I always say to students, when you're in the process of working on yourself, you're a very attractive man. You're very likable, very lovable, very honourable, very vulnerable. So I always say to people, I understand you don't want to leave your friend, but let me just really be honest. Do you really care about your friend? Do you really love your friend unconditionally? Yeah, of course I do. No, you don't. Because if you really loved him, you'd separate yourself from him. Because when you're hanging around him and you're drinking alcohol with him, you are helping him to feed his addictions and ruin his life. So you don't really love him. But you do really love him. But you don't really love him. But you do really love him. So this is what I asked myself one day. I said, I know I'm a good person. I know people in the world are good people. I know my bad sides and I have to iron them out. If I don't iron out my bad sides, I'll see them everywhere in life. I'll meet people everywhere. The women I date, they'll be the same. Everything. It will be a projection of what's inside me. So I say to people, just keep working on yourself. You don't have to say to your friend, I mean, I personally did do this with some friends. I had to, because I'm strict. I am soft, guys. I said it before, I'm vulnerable and I cry. And I'm quite sensitive. But I'm very strong when I need to be. So spirituality is not about bending over and letting people walk all over you. It's actually about being strong. And I did a video last year on YouTube about how to have personal boundaries. So be a good friend to yourself. Build trust with yourself. And you will either fix your friend or you will distance yourself from him. And I love the saying, you can love someone from afar. I think I said it right. So you don't stop loving your friends because you don't hang around with them, but you cannot hang around with someone who's killing themselves and killing you. If that's friendship, I don't want to be a part of it. When I was really insecure years ago, and I'm still insecure now, I'm just more secure being insecure, which makes me more secure. I was so jealous. I didn't like being jealous. I did not like being jealous. I did not like living with jealousy because it felt, this don't feel right. I shouldn't be feeling jealous to see my friend doing well. Where's this coming from? It was in my body because I was in the wrong story. Of course the wrong story is going to have jealousy. Of course it's going to have self-hate. Of course it's going to be angry. Of course it's going to be racist. It's going to be prejudiced against everyone because you don't like yourself. So I thought, there must be a way out of this. I remember spending time with my nan. I love my nan dearly. And my nan was just the most honest person I've ever met, the most loving person. I'd never judged anyone. No one is perfect, but even my dad said, your nan is close to a saint. She's the closest thing I've seen to a saint. Being in her presence was just, it's incredible. I can't even explain it. I'm not even close to that type of energy. My nan just loved everyone, simple. Taught me so much without even saying a word, just being around her. In my other video, I talked about my depression at 25. When I was depressed and I didn't want to live anymore, and I'd given up on myself, I used to go to my nan. She never gave up on me. Never gave up. She never judged me. When I got caught for, I was in an old story. But what my nan represented for me, and it's very hard to put into words, it's very emotional because I just don't want to do, it's hard to put a word in because it's hard to use language to describe how much I love my nan. So my nan represented for me the potentiality for me to change myself. And in many subtle ways, she told me, I wish you'd change. She loved me so much, she'd say to me, you're full of anger. You've got so much anger and hate in you. Because I believed I was attached to an old story of jealousy, violence, anger, distrust, and abuse and all the rest of it. When I would be around my nan, most times, it would, what we call in spirituality, it would clean me internally. That's what my friend would say, Jeff. She would clean me internally. Not wash me with a scrubbing brush in the bath, but being around her would spiritually clean me. I would change around her. I would be a lovely person. I would be nice. But then when I would leave and go out with my friends, I would transform into a horrible, ugly, hateful, angry person. I'll go into an old story. So it's very important, I've spoken about it before, that we're on a quest to find out who we are. It's in our benefit. You have to be selfish to you and you'll be kind to everyone else. We think we're going to be selfish if we abandon our friend who's dishonest and racist and takes drugs. That is not being selfish. You have to do what's right for you because he's holding you back and you're holding him back. Then it gets a bit confusing because then I say to myself, if I really fulfill my full potential, will people think I'm arrogant? Will I become rich? Will I become a snob? Will I start looking down on people? Then I thought to myself, of course I won't, because I know my heart. I know my father's heart. I know my dad's heart. I know my mum's heart. I know my nan's heart. I know my family's heart. I know my heart from the generations my generations. And I started to notice the change in myself. It's actually the opposite. The more money I make, the more good I do, the more congruent I become, the more kinder I am, because I'm kinder to me. I can't be kind to you if I'm not kind to me. I won't even have that energy to give. So it's a personal choice. Everyone's got the right to change. I would never hold a man back from changing. Not on a conscious level anyway. So I've said it before. There's no competition but yourself. Freud showed me that. He showed me that with women. He showed me, Johnny, there's no competition out here. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about what this guy's doing or what this guy said. Just be you. Simple, profound truths that need to be inquired. Loneliness comes to mind now. A lot of you watching my videos are lonely. A lot of you are afraid. You think you're going to be lonely forever. That's what I used to get. I used to get blackmailed with these horrible demonic voices saying, we're going to keep you here forever. And the only way we're going to let you out of the loneliness is if you feed your old story. What did I do? I'll tell you exactly how my day consisted when I got threatened with that voice. You're going to be lonely forever. I change, I feel it, I get angry. I leave my house, I phone a friend up, and I go and indulge in excessive alcohol drinking to escape pain. Bad conversations, bad mouthing people. I didn't enjoy it, but part of me did enjoy it to escape pain. Then arguments, then the politics, it just never stopped. Then I'd come home and think, I didn't even enjoy his company. Why did I do that? Because I got frightened by a voice. There was a stronger part of me, there was awareness that said, sit in the loneliness, withstand the loneliness, withstand the suffering. It may be for 24 hours, but it will end. There'll be relief. And what you're actually doing is, you're starving your old story, you're feeding the new one. So negative friends, violence, anger, self-hate is a representation that you're in the wrong story. How do we get out? It's all good and well me talking about this. It's very poetic, it feels good as I'm saying it. I'm gonna tell you my truth. I'm gonna tell you what I did. I got it myself. It's courage. You need massive amounts of courage. Courage is free. You can't go into Tesco's and say, can I have a box of courage, please? And I'll have a carton of orange juice. Courage is within. Courage is courage is within every man. Courage is free. My courage comes from my despair, my loneliness. Ah, Johnny, you'll never get a girl. A woman would never love you. She would never love you, she'll leave you. She'll cheat on you, leave you for another man. These voices were horrific I used to get threatened with. Or if she finds out who you really are, she wouldn't like you. You come with too much baggage. It's not true, just an old story. Courage. Who taught me courage? My dad. My father, he taught me how to be courageous. I'll tell you a couple of stories that are completely true. And it wasn't pleasant experiences, but they've gone on to transform my life and help me to teach others. There's a guy around my area, he's bullying people. I'm not going to say his name just in case. He's going around the area, he's robbing everyone, bullying people. He made my friend do press-ups on the floor. I'm seeing how emotional I'm getting. I'm struggling to tell this story. It hurts my body saying this. He bullied my friend in front of me. I couldn't do anything, so I was frightened of this guy. He made my friend do press-ups on the floor. And he started going around robbing people, and it really pissed me off, made me angry, because I couldn't believe how he was treating people. So I thought, I was angry at my friend for allowing him to do that, because my friend was twice his size. This guy was only short, but people were terrified of him. Obviously he was insecure and afraid, but he had enough courage to bully people. And I didn't like bullies, because my dad bullied me, and I was a bully as well. So I didn't like what I saw in myself. I wasn't really a bully, but when I was in an old story, I was a bully. Remember I told you about the news story, and my nan used to bring me into the news story, and my mum sometimes, and my dad. But my dad was in his news story. Anyway, so I remember thinking, I'm next, he's going to come for me. And I'm not going to let him humiliate. I can't even speak, I'm getting anxious. I'm not even going to let this guy humiliate me. This is so difficult telling this story. I'm bringing this out of the closet. So I seen him one day, and before he could say anything, sorry, I just went bang and punched him. I punched him because I was afraid of him. I didn't want him to bully me. I thought he was going to try and humiliate me. And when I punched him, I thought, oh no, what have I done? And everyone was, and my friends were, but I felt good to do it because I knew he was going to come for me. And I punched him really because of what he did to my friend. I didn't like how he treated my friend and how he's treating other people. But when I punched him, I got afraid because part of me didn't want to fight him. So I went home. I ran home. My other best friend was with me at the time, not the guy who done push-ups. He was a good friend of mine. I don't think he's going to mind me saying his name. I'm going to say it as a tribute to him anyway. His name was Alex. He's a very strong man. He taught me a lot of stuff, really good friend. So I went home and my dad could see my face. He could tell I was stressed, and he said, what's happened? I said, this guy's been bullying me downstairs, and I punched him, and he's going to come after me. He's going to get his cousins and stuff. My dad said, right, we're going downstairs to fight him. And no, I said, it's okay, Dad, we're going downstairs to fight him. When my dad was saying it seriously, I couldn't do anything. He was very strict. I was afraid of my dad. And I just felt this. If you guys have had social anxiety, you know how it feels when you're full of fear and you can't speak. I couldn't speak. My face went white, whiter than it is now. So that's really white, isn't it? And I was sweating with fear. And I was afraid because I knew I had to fight this man. And I knew I was going to lose. I knew he was going to beat me because I had too much fear. But I knew I could beat him, and I didn't want to lose in front of my dad because, you know, I looked up to my dad, and sorry, I'm getting pins and needles. I was afraid of my dad, and it meant quite a lot to get my dad's approval and to get the respect from my friends and my own sense of self-worth and all the rest of it and being a man. So he said to me, we're going downstairs, get your jacket on and whatever. And I just said, oh man. And I had to do it. I'm getting pins and needles now. This is a sign. Something's trying to stop me telling this story. I keep saying it. So I went downstairs, and it was weird. When I came downstairs, it was like Roman Colosseum, because my whole area had gathered, and everyone was sitting on the wall. It was an estate, and there was girls, there was guys. This is probably what caused a lot of my social anxiety at the time. And I remember thinking, oh my God, I can't escape this. I've got to confront terror. It's not just fighting a guy. This represents something more. I have to confront everything in me that is ashamed. I had to fight shame, guilt, embarrassment, self-hate, low self-esteem, distrust, dishonesty. I had to confront all of these monsters that represented this man that was bullying me. I was lonely, man. I was lonely. I was begging God to take this pain away from me. I was begging to change my dad's mind to stop this fight from happening, because it represented something very big in my life. And he said, go. And he went over and he said, that's how my dad is. It's the Irish way. You have a problem with my son? And the guy went, yeah. And then his cousin was with him, and he said, you're both going to fight. I'm not going to get involved. Obviously, the guy could feel my dad was serious. My dad wasn't going to put his hands on him. And we went in the middle, and everyone took a back seat and had their cinema ticket and was getting entertained to watch this fight. Jonathan against this bully. And I was twice his size. He was shorter than me, but I was more scared than him. But I had courage. I was a very courageous man, because I didn't have to go home and tell my dad. I stood up to a bully. I stood up to everything that represented what was in myself I didn't like, because I was a bully at the time as well. and we started to fight, and I knew I'd lost, but I felt a sense of relief because I was humiliated in front of everyone. Everyone was laughing, all the girls, all the guys in my area. My dad was very serious. He was watching it, and it was going on, and was kicking and punching, and I just stopped. I gave up. I surrendered, and he got on top of me, and then and my dad stopped it and said, "You won. You beat my son, fair and square." My dad said, "Get up." And I just felt so ashamed. And my dad said, "Next time you need to train harder." He said it in that strict voice. I'll say it again because this might resonate with you guys. It will inspire something in you. He said, "Next time you've got to train harder than that. That's not good enough." And I walked upstairs and my head was down with shame. But that experience made me the man I am today. That guy transformed my life. Because when you go through that, you get massive courage. You know what's right and wrong. And it sounds mad to say this, but I've got to thank that guy for doing that to me, because I was like that. Because I battered loads of people. There was loads of people that I knocked out that I didn't need to, because they upset me, and I beat the shit out of them. I knocked them out, I smashed them to pieces. I actually did that because I was in a wrong story, and I was insecure and scared and all the rest of it. So guess what happened after? About a couple of days later, he walked up to me and shook my hand, and we became friends. All right, we wasn't best friends, we weren't having dinner at each other's houses, but we made peace. He never bothered me again. I never bothered him again. I had no fear around him. Personally, I think that's God. But my dad was a great teacher, because he taught me about courage. Violence isn't the answer. But what my dad was doing, he was helping me to face my pain, not run away from it. Because if I didn't confront that guy, he would have bullied me for the rest of my life. Then I'd be bullied in the workplace. I would be bullied in life. I'd be bullied by a woman. But I'm stressing in this story, of course you don't use violence, but I'm telling you almost like a parable, a metaphor, a real event in my life that took me from fear to love. So it's situations like that either make a man or break a man. As I said, that courage was within me. So it is painful, but we have to go through these uncomfortable situations. So when I went and started to do public speaking, I was full of social anxiety. I remembered the feelings in that story, but I was able to convert bad feelings to good ones, connect to love and all the rest of it. So we all have these stories. No one's different. We've got 1,001 stories. So my old story helped me to create a new story. Now I don't want to jinx myself, I never get into fights anymore, because I'm more secure in myself. I'm sensing that I'm speaking to a lot of you guys that have made this transformation as well. So our pain's there for a reason, but we don't have to become a victim of our pain. We can become a captain of our pain. If we can't fix our own pain, we can't be alpha males. How are we going to attract beautiful women? I don't like to rate women, but I'm going to speak a language to an audience that needs to understand my message within the context of this language. If you're saying to me, I should be getting a 10, or a woman is stunning, how the hell are you going to attract a woman like that if you can't even attract that in yourself? So it takes a lot of courage to love yourself. It takes a lot of courage to be honest. It takes a lot of courage to say no when you say no. So what did I face in that event? I was criticised, I was judged, I was laughed at, I was embarrassed, I was socially anxious, I lost the fight. He beat me hands down, fair and square. He beat me, he outsmarted me in the street fight. But I won the war. Because I'm alive to tell the story, and he helped me. So what did I lose? I didn't lose anything, I only gained. So there's hope for everyone. That's it, that's what I wanted to share with you. So like and subscribe, enjoy the process, and use your pain to change. Use your pain to change into a new story and to become successful. I'll see you soon, bye.